Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a good Sunday. We are at Daikon Korean Barbecue in Natomas. Come on down and see us. We've got game 4. We'll tell you about some changes in the starting lineups and a lot more. Always great to be with Ryan in Sacktown. And here we go. Can the Kings win a game on the road and put a real stranglehold on the Warriors? They're going to have to play a heck of a lot better than they did in game 3.
Yes, they are, Grant. And this is the game. I will talk about it and we'll break it down, but this is the one for them to have that road to win this series.
All right. I expect this to be a completely different game than we saw in game 3. You know, the Kings' three-point shooting has been awful in these 3 games, and yet they lead this best of 7, 2-1. Big news, the Warriors are not starting Draymond Green, Ryan. They're going with Jordan Poole. They're going small to start this game.
Yeah, it makes sense. Look what the Warriors did last game with Draymond outside of the lineup. And, both teams can play that way. Does it benefit the Kings? Does it not? We'll see. I think the Kings just had an off night in game 3. So I think it's kind of a wash, Grant. I mean, the Warriors have looked better without Draymond.
All right, and the question is, will Keegan Murray get back on track? He has really been a non-factor in the 3 games. Mike Brown will start him. And again, we'll see where his game is at. And if it's like games 1, 2, and 3, he'll get a quick hook, and Mike Brown will go to a different lineup. So it's really that simple, but no changes in the starting lineup for Sacramento.
No, Mike Brown was asked about it yesterday after practice, and he's only going to pull Keegan quicker if he's not taking his shot. So look for them to get him a little bit more involved, and at least Mike Brown is encouraging him to really stay strong on this.
All right, the Knicks and the Cavs playing right now at MSG with the Knicks trying to take a significant lead in this series after winning game 1. They went back to the Garden and won game 3, and right now it's 75-71, the Knicks, with a minute gone by in the 4th quarter. All right, so Sacramento and Golden State. The Kings don't have to win a game in San Francisco to win this series. That's the good news.
Right.
But the scenario that I'm still not fond of, that I don't think would be good for Sacramento, is to get the Warriors in a game 7. I think that would be a very difficult task to beat this caliber of a championship team in a game 7. I'm not saying the Kings couldn't win, but that's not a scenario that I think you want if you're Sacramento.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Grant. I mean, a game 7, the Warriors championship pedigree, the experience is going to kick in there. They have been there before. I really think, and I'll kick it to you here, this is for the Kings to win the series. I'm borderline must win today, because that not only gives them an opportunity to wrap it up at home where they're 2-0, but then that gives them another opportunity on the road in Golden State where the Kings have been played this season well on the road.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I think the game that's a must-win for Sacramento is a game 5. That's the series because if they lose today, game 5 is a must-win, or else this series won't go past 6 games. The Warriors will win in 6. So I look at it a little bit differently than you. The Kings, again, don't have to win on the road. We know that. I believe game 5 is the critical game for Sacramento. But first things first, I think the Kings can win this game. I have not been impressed with the Warriors in any of the 3 games, Ryan. I really haven't.
No, and we said it in the post game the other night. It was more about what the Kings didn't do, Grant. They played a completely different game than they played in 1 and 2 in game 3. Not so much what the Warriors did. They only put up 113. So expect the Kings to come out and beat the Kings today.
Hey, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing, locally owned for over 20 years. New Works has a fix for you. For your plumbing needs and repairs, just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. And remember, they're available around the clock, 24/7. That's sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. All right, tip-off coming up at 12:30. It's probably going to be a little bit late because the Knicks and the Cavs still have 10 minutes left to go in the 4th and a 1-point game. So that game's going to drag out. So they might put a little hold on the Kings start against the Warriors. But the Warriors, I think they also are feeling pretty good. They know they did not play well the other night, and they didn't have 2 key guys in Draymond Green and GP2, and they still won. Those guys are both back in this game. So, I'm looking at this from the Warriors' perspective, too. They're feeling confident entering this game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they indirectly found a strength or an adjustment in this series by going a little bit smaller without Draymond. And now with GP2 back, that changes the game because GP2 can play some of those same minutes that Poole's playing. He can play the 3, play a little 4 sometimes. So let's see how the Kings converse and, make an adjustment here for game 4.
We're going to also see how much Davion Mitchell plays. I think his role has really been put out there where you're going to need his defense in critical junctures of this game against Steph Curry. Is that enough to stop Steph Curry? Probably not. But if you can contain him and make him human as opposed to just being Superman, that's a win in your column.
Absolutely. And Mike Brown kind of talked about that again with Davion, just making sure their minutes match up and getting back to chasing him. And another thing that came up, De'Aaron Fox, Mike Brown pulled no punches. He needs to be a two-way player in this series when he's guarding Curry. It's just as important as when the Kings are on offense.
Yep. All right. So Kings and Warriors, a game 4. Come on down and see us. Daikon Korean Barbecue. It's very interesting. On the other side of the restaurant, they have a Korean barbecue where you cook your own food. It's awesome. And it's all you can eat. Then on this side, we're at the Firehouse Crawfish, where they have shrimp, prawns, crawfish, crab legs, king crab legs, Dungeness crab, clams, mussels. They're open right now. They're open 7 days a week. The bar here is great. There are TVs everywhere. So no matter where you're sitting, you're going to get a good view of the game. Come on down. All right. Unlimited Korean barbecue down here at Daikon Korean Barbecue in Natomas. All right. Come on down and hang out with us. We'll be here obviously throughout the game. And then Ryan and I will be doing post-game show as well.
Indeed. Are you cooking tonight, Grant, or am I cooking?
I'm going to be cooking. I love the Korean barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on that side. But I might do some seafood too. I don't know. I have to think about this.
All right.
I love the barbecue places where you get the food and you cook it the way you want and you put on what you want. I'm a big fan of Korean barbecue.
Absolutely. It's great.
All right. Also want to tell you about Fosters and Paws, a group of animal advocates. They work primarily with dogs and shelters. And we told you the other day, they had 24 puppies available for adoption. So if you're looking to adopt a puppy, go to fostersandpaws.org. Check out their mission statement by going to their website and everything they do. And hey, if you're not in a position to adopt, well, they would greatly appreciate donations, which helps feed the pets, the animals, and shelter. That's fostersandpaws.org. And again, if you are looking for a puppy, fostersandpaws.org is the place to check out. Happy that they're with us here on If You Don't Like That. All right. What do you think is going to happen, Kings fans? How confident are you with this game 4? Do you think this thing's coming back to Sacramento 3-1 or 2-2? And again, the three-point shooting for Sacramento has been abysmal in this series. And yet, with that said, they still have a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, and a lot of times during the season, Grant, we've seen the Kings come out and start the game with 3, 4, 5 3-pointers. They can't do that against the Warriors if those shots aren't falling. They have got to mix in the twos and get to the rim immediately because you will fall behind just like you did in Game 3. Kings never led.
Yeah, rebounding is going to be a key. I thought the Warriors got a lot of key rebounds in that Game 3, and the Kings are going to have to do a much better job in that department. They talked about that also yesterday at practice. So, there are a lot of factors. Hey, these 3 games, there's been no rhyme or reason from game to game to game, right? Game 1, high scoring. Game 2, sloppy, low scoring, a lot of poor shooting. Game 3 was that. Game 2, low scoring, slugfest, physical, and then the game that we saw the other night on Thursday, both teams sloppy, both teams couldn't shoot, both teams, I should say Sacramento, careless with the assist-to-turnover ratio. Ryan, you and I talk about this all the time. That is the real key for Sacramento, especially when they're on the road. Keep an eye on the assist-to-turnover ratio. The other night in Game 3, it was 21 assists, 15 turnovers. That's not going to beat the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, spot on, partner. And, you can expect a few more assists than normal because of the pace this series has been played at. But the Kings have to be between 25 and 30 assists to win this game. That means their offense is running like it normally runs.
All right, so Sacramento and Golden State tip-off coming up in about 30 minutes. Don't forget, we'll be with you at halftime and post-game show as well. So happy to have you on the stream. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Also, give us a thumbs up, hit that like button. We would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, no changes to the Kings starting lineup. And I don't think
No.
they should make any changes. They're up 2-1. You don't have to play him 48 minutes. He hasn't been playing a lot when he's struggling. Play him. If he's not in a groove in the first 5 or 6 minutes, then you go to the bench.
Yeah, Keegan's plus minus hasn't been terrible actually when he's on the floor, despite not scoring. So, it can only be a benefit to the Kings at this point, Grant, to get Keegan going and to get that extra scoring.
Everyone needs to show up. Okay, it's not just Keegan and Herter. I mean, Malik Monk did not have a good game in Game 3. He vowed to be much better in Game 4. Normally, when Malik comes out and talks like that, he normally goes off in the following game. Jerry thinks that's the key. Jerry thought Malik Monk would be the X factor. Now, think about this. In Games 1 and 2, Monk played very well. Kings won. Game 3 was terrible. They lost. Jerry might be onto something there.
Absolutely. And, for those that are calling out Herter, yeah, he didn't score much in Game 3, but his defense has been pretty solid. Let's set aside Game 3 because everybody didn't play good defense.
That's a great point.
So let's see. I think Herter can still make some plays happen for this team.
All right. We are so happy that you are joining us here on this Sunday afternoon, a matinee. Will we be talking about a game next Sunday? If the answer to that is yes, that will be a Game 7. Okay. So just keep that in mind, how big these games are. Because again, I just don't think you want to have the chore, and I will say it, the chore of beating Steph Curry in a Game 7. I do not want that scenario.
No, not at all. I mean, it's one game for all the marbles, and the Kings have not been in that position to date this season. But Grant, I know we have differing opinions here, but I just don't like the thought of Golden State coming into Sacramento, winning 2 in a row and rolling. I feel like that's a bad recipe.
It might be, but I think we got to look at the big picture. Who picked Sacramento to roll over Golden State? They're the defending champs. They have Hall of Fame players. I mean, I don't know of anyone that really thought the Kings were just going to breeze through Golden State.
Yeah.
You're playing the defending champs. You're playing a dynasty, and you're going to have to beat them. You're going to have to knock them out. All right. You've given them a couple of standing 8 counts, but that's not going to work against the Warriors. You got to knock them out. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Grant, this is going to be the first time in the series we're really going to see how the Kings respond to adversity, right? Because it wasn't just a close loss. It was a terrible loss by them.
Yeah, it was a terrible loss. It was a very bad loss. And Game 1 was up for grabs. You had Andrew Wiggins in the corner that could have hit the go-ahead 3, which may have won the game. The Kings would have had a final possession.
Yep.
Game 2 was very close until Draymond Green got kicked out, and that changed the momentum of the game. The Warriors were on a run right there. They were down by 4, and again, they were on a run that would have, had it not been for Draymond Green, there would have been a technical and an inbound with a chance to tie the game on the ensuing possession. So, Game 3 was an aberration. Game 3 did not really fit in the mold of what I expect. I think today's game is going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be similar to Game 1.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it's going to be physical. There's going to be a little bit more matching up when Draymond comes in the game, and I would expect these guys to be really going at each other really hard down low, including Alex Len.
All right. Also, if you come down to Daikon Korean Barbecue, we have shirts for sale, so come on over and see us. We would love for you to have one of these shirts. The black ones are sold out, but we got the white ones, and check it out right here if you don't like that. The white shirts. All right. So come on down and see us again at Daikon Barbecue in Natomas. Kings, Warriors, Game 4. Right now, the Knicks with 8 minutes left lead the Cavaliers 81-77. While you talk, I'm going to look up the refs for this game today. I forgot to do that.
Yeah, no worries. It's going to be also interesting to see how the guards rebound. If Golden State is going to go small, I think there is a little bit of an advantage there for Sacramento, especially with some of the long rebounding. You look at Kevin Huerter, he's a pretty good rebounding guard. If Keegan can get in there, get some rebounds, that's really important. That'll give you a boost. And then obviously De'Aaron, he can mix it up as well.
Josh Tiven, James Williams, Pat Fair. That's an excellent officiating crew for this Game 4. Excellent officiating crew.
Grant, these officials have really had their hands full, especially last night with what Dylan Brooks did to LeBron James.
Well, I'm looking at the other officials. I think this is a really good crew. I hope, and again, I really mean this, I hope we are not talking about the officials after this game. All right, I thought Game 1 was very well officiated. I know there were some gripes in Game 2. Warrior fans are upset that Green got ejected in Game 3, but come on, how could you be upset over that? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a blowout win for them, so they're all right. But don't put it in the hands of the refs tonight. Just be decisive and do what you do if you're the Kings.
All right. Again, if you want to tell us what you think the final score is going to be, we'll do that at halftime. All right. So keep in mind that. I want to tell you about Bennett's, who hosted us for Game 1 in Roseville and Sacramento. They're coming to Rockledge soon. The weekend brunch is great. The weekend prime rib is a special. Prime seafood and steaks. They have over 50 different types of wine available by the glass. Go to Bennett's Restaurant.com for more information. Huge supporters of the Sacramento Kings. We're grateful for their sponsorship right here on If You Don't Like That. All right, so you think the Kings are bouncing back? You think the Kings are winning this, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think the Kings will win it. It's going to be a close game like Game 1, but Kings are going to come out with a hard-fought physical win.
All right, we got 137 to 125 Sacramento. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I do think so. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Again, you don't have to win a game in San Francisco. That's the beauty of this. But again, I just don't like the scenario of having a Game 7 on your home floor against the Warriors. I wouldn't want to have to play them on anyone's floor. But if you win today, then you got a chance to not only win this series at home on Wednesday, you got a chance for significant rest before you play your next round.
That's right. Exactly right, Grant. So we'll see. The Game 7 scenario, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm with you there, but I think the Kings are gonna bring this one back to Sacramento and have an opportunity in Game 5. But time will tell as we get closer to tip-off.
All right, what are we talking about for keys in this game? I think, again, assist to turnover ratio is a big key. I think Malik Monk obviously is a big key. I'll list that as 1 and 2 for this game. What about you?
I'm with you. I mean, always assist to turnovers. We need to get some production off the bench. Kings, or with Golden State going a little bit small, we need Trey Lyles to really step up today, get back into the swing of things like he did in Game 1. The other thing that I'm looking at is free throws. If we are getting to the free throw line, that means that we are playing physical basketball. And that's the brand that the Kings need to play against the Warriors.
Are we going to also have Domantas Sabonis look like the Domantas Sabonis that we saw in the regular season? Warriors have done a nice job of keeping him in check in terms of his scoring output.
Grant, I'm optimistic that we will, because now he's gotten a look 2 times at the Warriors, and they should be able to make some adjustments. I would expect the Kings to mix up what they're doing on offense a little bit. And get him evolved right off the bat. But with Sabonis, Grant, I don't want to see him be, hesitant. I want him to be decisive if he's left open and make it happen for himself.
All right, rebounding, bench points, second chance points. Yep, I'm with you on that. Someone says we need 60 to 70 paint points at least. I'm going to go back to what I said. The Kings are who they are. Okay?
Yeah.
They're a high-scoring team, and they make threes. And right now, Keegan Murray can't put the ball in the ocean. Herter's not shooting threes well. I mean, I think in the 3 games, their three-point percentage is 27%. I don't think you're going to win this series if that does not go up significantly. So you can talk all you want about points in the paint. The Kings will not win this series if those numbers don't rise significantly.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, one more that I'm going to throw at you as we sit here and we think a little bit more, points off of turnovers. The Warriors are going to turn the ball over a lot. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. So the Kings need to capitalize on that. They had a lot of points off of turnover Game 1. Make that happen today and shut that Golden State crowd up.
Again, Fox does have to be huge. He's the man, Michael. There's no question about that. Appreciate Jay when his text. Like you said, the team that makes their shots and minimize turnovers will win the game. Yep. See, that's the key. That assist to turnover ratio, I think, is number 1. I think it is absolutely number 1 on this game. Assist to turnover ratio to me for Sacramento. The Warriors had 31 assists and 15 turnovers, I believe was the number in Game 3. That's why they won. The Kings were 21 and 15. Big difference.
Huge, yeah. And also first quarters, Grant. Let's throw the first quarters in there. In 2 of the 3 games, the Kings have had very slow starts. Luckily, the Warriors also had slow starts as well, but we're talking 19 points, 21 points towards the end of the first. So the Kings need to come out and at least compete, if not have the lead.
All right. Again, if you are in the area, come on down and see us at Daikon Korean Barbecue. We're here all game long. We'll be doing the halftime and post-game show as well. Want to talk to you about Gold Country Veterinary and Hospital in Auburn, serving the foothills and the greater Sacramento area. Now, we talk about their urgent care, right? All right. I love talking about this. So think about this, okay? On Friday, all right, emergency care, canine and congestive heart failure. Canine with a life-threatening electrolyte imbalance, a canine C-section, a cat with a broken tail, a cat with a broken leg, a canine with a spleen rupture. All right, just in one night. So we talk about their urgent care. They have the best in technology, surgery, dentistry, Gold Country Veterinary and Hospital. They do it all. But don't forget about how great they are when it comes to urgent care. And again, that's just one day. Friday. How about that, huh?
I want to see a reality TV show for Gold Country Veterinary and Hospital. It would be pretty amazing. These guys are running and doing great work.
Absolutely. And obviously, people with their emotions tied to their pets.
Sure.
Right? They come in, they probably need to have like a therapy room for the masters while they're dealing with their pets, you know?
Yeah. That's probably sometimes harder than dealing with the pet, dealing with the owner.
I love it. Absolutely. All right. Again, if you want to join us, come on down to Daikon Korean Barbecue.
Absolutely.
All right. A broken tail. Yes, that's what it is. Someone said a broken tail. Yes, the cat had a broken tail.
Broken tail. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Justin, I think we already smell like Korean barbecue, and we smell good. So that's not going to be a problem.
Curry, Thompson, Looney, Wiggins, and Poole for the starting lineup for the Warriors. Yep, we told you at the beginning of the show that Draymond Green is not starting in this game. Going to be very interesting to see how many minutes he ends up playing. I bet you he's on the floor in a close game with 5 minutes left, though.
Grant, does that do anything to the Warriors chemistry-wise? Draymond started pretty much all year, and now in the playoffs, you bring him off the bench?
No, not a championship team that's been through everything before. No, I don't think it's – I think the Warriors showed the other night that if they have to win a game, they can win a game even if they don't have certain players on the floor. So I think when you have a Steph Curry and a Klay Thompson on your floor, I don't think too many things rattle you. 92-83 with 4:45 left at the Garden. The Knicks trying to take a commanding lead in this series against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes, sir. Preston, we'll see you soon. We see that you're on your way. Awesome. Everybody come down to Daikon. Enjoy us.
Absolutely. Again, we are in Natomas. Easy to get to. Yeah, of course they will. Brad. Well, Brad, you just won the award for the stupidest question of the NBA season. Would the Kings be able to win this series if they only won 4 home games? Yeah, because if you get 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, you win the series and you advance to the next round.
Hey, Brad.
Brad, think about the question. You said, will the Kings be able to win the series by just winning all 4 home games? Unless they change the rule between now and next Sunday where you have to win 5 games, Brad, 4 would get it done. 4. That means you could just win at home. You wouldn't have to win on the road, Brad, and you could advance to the next round of the playoffs. Good job, Brad. Brad, you come on down here, and I'll give you a T-shirt for that question. You come on down and say, hey, I'm Brad Clayton. You come down here to Daikon Korean Barbecue, and I will give you one of these shirts for free for that question. How's that?
Nice. Get down here, Brad. You got everybody rolling, too. Maybe you can do a stand-up gig. Literally, people laughing around us. So well done.
I don't even know what else to say. All right. Sorry, Brad, but you walked into that yourself, okay? All right. But again, I'm sympathizing with you. I've asked stupid questions in the past. Yeah. I don't think I've asked one that stupid, but I've asked stupid questions. And for that reason, I'm going to give you a shirt if you come on down and hang out with us. All right.
You know what, Brad? Let's chalk it up to Siri. I bet you were talking to text. So it was probably their fault, not yours.
Well, I know you're Brad because it says your name. Yes, thank you. All right. All right. So, Brad, people do appreciate you on the stream. I just want to let you know.
Yes.
All right, I got sidetracked here. 92-85, the Knicks, and get ready for Game 4. All right. What do you think? Who's gonna win? What's the score going to be? I know we're going to. We normally do it at halftime. You think it's going to be in the 130s?
Yes.
I do too.
Yep.
I think it's going to be in the 130s too.
I think only one team will be in the 130s, though. I will preface it by saying that.
Preston, it's all good, buddy. I've asked stupid questions too. Not a problem. I've never asked a question quite like that, but I've asked stupid questions in the past. I've asked questions in an interview where I've got the person that I'm interviewing looking at me like this. So, we've all been there, okay? We've all been there. I got questions on the Stanley Cup. This is a Kings Warriors pregame show. We're not talking about the Stanley Cup. All right, Jay's got the Kings winning 122 to 116.
Okay.
Crystal Ship's got the Kings winning 128 to 121. That's an interesting. Crystal Ship. Crystal Cruises? I don't know. What's Crystal Ship? I'd love to know.
That might be her name. Crystal Ship.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool name.
There we go. All right. So don't forget, we are going to be back here at halftime and then post-game show as well. We've got 92-85, 3 minutes left. The Knicks leading the Cavaliers at MSG, trying to go up 3-1. Did you see the scene at Madison Square Garden?
No, I did not.
Game 3?
No.
It was similar to the Arco Arena in 1996 when the Kings came out to play the Sonics.
How great is that?
Fans were going ballistic 20 minutes before the game started.
That's awesome. You don't usually see that from MSG.
No. Well, you know what? Because they're like the Kings fans. They've suffered for years and years and years, and they're finally got a team they can be grateful for. You know?
Good for them. Good for them.
All right, we got 130 to 119 Sacramento. Does anybody have the Warriors winning this game? Does everybody think the Kings are going to win this game? Anybody picking Golden State? What do you think?
Well, we'll see. Jeff, no, I don't think 12:30 is too early. They practice usually on off days.
Yeah, they practice every day at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so
should be a non-factor. So you know what? Teams that's just an excuse.
Yeah.
Both teams are playing at 12:30. You know,
and
both teams are playing.
And they're both West Coast teams. We're not talking about an East Coast West Coast matchup.
Correct. Big difference there. Absolutely. All right. Looks like the Knicks are going to win. They're up 10 with 1:45 left. They're on their feet at Madison Square Garden. We are going to get ready for Game 4, and then Ryan and I will be back at halftime. Appreciate all of you and your support. And again, if you're joining us for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. We're back here in a little more than an hour on If You Don't Like That. Thank you, everybody.